only DJ Storms! And I'd like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. This is the Lightning Flash update, ladies and gentlemen, for August 2nd, 2019. My God, we are in fucking August already. The summer is going way too fast, ladies and gentlemen. I really don't want to go back to college. I really don't. I have been enjoying this time off. It's been very nice and relaxing. I think that I could really get used to this. I could really get used to it. If I did not have to go and get a well-paying job when I get out of college, I could really get used to this. It's such a relaxing time. I really wish summer would last just a little bit longer, or it would go a little bit slower. But anyway, we're going to get right into the festivities here on the Lightning Flash update. This episode of the Lightning Flash update, just like the last few weeks, is packed as per usual. So I need you guys to stick around to the end because I got a lot of news that I would like to talk about. And trust me, you are not going to want to miss what I have to talk about in the end, considering you already know what is going on backstage with the thumbnail, apparently. But you're going to figure out why Vince flipped over a table. But anyway, the weekly show reviews. So before I get into the weekly show reviews, Chris, your boy Chris on YouTube, if you haven't given that guy a subscription already, give the fucking guy a subscription already. He works his ass off at Yankee Stadium, and then he comes home and stays up till 2 o'clock in the fucking morning to record his shows. Give the guy some love. Give the guy some respect. Give the guy some support. Give that guy a subscription. Hit that bell for all notifications. Get that guy to 200 subscribers. But Chris, your Monday Night Raw review, the intro to your Monday Night Raw review. I fucking love you. I fucking love you, dude. I love you. Please continue to give me shit like that. I would love to continue to see shit like that on your Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live reviews. Please. Monday Night Raw. This is Paul Heyman's third week. Just visualize this. It's his third week. And still, the show sucks. Outside of the 8:20 to 9:30 period, outside of that hour and 10-minute period, the show is a complete waste of 3 hours. And even then, I still have complaints about what happened in that hour and 10-minute period. And, let me tell you something. I don't mean to rant. Well, actually, I do mean to rant because that's what I do. But it's justified. But the fact that there are so many people in the community that are so fucking stupid, it really disgusts me. It disgusts me. I'm legitimately starting to lose respect for so many people, including my mutuals. And not to name any names. I'm not going to name any names, but, you mutuals, the mutuals who know me, know who are the safe ones. But I legitimately had to mute one of my mutuals because of their stupid fucking comments, saying that they enjoyed Raw, it was good. What was good about it? Are your standards really that low? There's a difference between stating your opinion and just being a flat-out dumb fuck. Saying Raw was good when there's clearly no evidence to back it up, you are just a flat-out dumb fuck. You're a dumb fuck. The show started off with Truth and Carmella, R-Truth and Carmella taking on Drake Maverick and Renee Michelle in a mosh pit mixed tag team match for the 24/7 title. They wrestled to crickets. And, for anyone who says the 24/7 title is doing good, you are just as much of a dumb fuck. I don't mind if you want to enjoy wrestling as you please, live life as you please, but if you're not going to be a part of the solution, don't be a part of the problem. Don't be a part of the problem by saying that the 24/7 title is the greatest fucking thing to happen to WWE. It's driving up ratings. The 24/7 title is making WWE cool again. No, it's not. It's a rehashed 20-year-old concept that doesn't fit the mold of today's WWE programming. And on top of that, it doesn't even drive up viewership. Matter of fact, it drives viewership down. Raw had a 3.1 million average rating last week for Raw Reunion. This week, it's 2.3. They lost nearly 1 million viewers. But yet the 24/7 titles help. Yet the 24/7 title, such a big help, right? It's such a big help. The 24/7 title is good for vlogs and YouTube videos. That's where it generates views. It does not generate views on television. For those of you who support the 24/7 title, I genuinely don't give a fuck. I genuinely don't give a fuck about anyone. If you find the 24/7 title enjoyable, you are a mindless dumb fuck. You mad? I don't care. Go cry in a ball in the corner. And to top this all off, the mosh pit attacked after the match was over. Mike Kanellis ended up winning the title. And then afterwards, later on in the night, Mike Kanellis laid down for Maria so that way she can become the 24/7 champion. So not only did WWE solidify Mike Kanellis as a bona fide loser by winning the 24/7 championship, they even boosted his loser status by having him drop the title to his own wife. This is entertainment in the eyes of Vince McMahon. Having a real-life wife embarrass her real-life husband on live television. I don't know what Mike Kanellis did, but it's absolutely disgusting. Mike Kanellis does not deserve that. And picture this. Picture this. Mike and Maria Kanellis, in the span of 1 hour, won their first championship in WWE before Heavy Machinery, EC3, Nikki Cross, Apollo Crews, Sami Zayn, Ali, Andrade, and Ember Moon. Think about that. How fucked up is that? How fucked up is that? The only good part about this is that more than likely than not, Maria wins the title. She goes away for 9 months. She goes away for 9 months and the 24/7 title is taken off of television. I hope to God that they end the 24/7 championship. I hope to God. That and the women's tag team titles can go kick rocks. We had a gauntlet match between Rey Mysterio, Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Andrade, and Ricochet. The winner would go and face AJ Styles at SummerSlam for the United States Championship. Listen, this was a good gauntlet match. We had some good wrestling. Cesaro and Rey Mysterio, they put on a great match to start off the gauntlet match. Rey Mysterio and Cesaro, they have great chemistry together. And then the ending of the gauntlet match, Andrade and Ricochet, they ended up having a decent match as well. I can appreciate good wrestling. We got some good wrestling with this match. But at the end of the day, I have 3 complaints about this. Number 1 is the fact that all of the superstars in the gauntlet match shouldn't even be in the gauntlet match. Rey Mysterio got squashed by Bobby Lashley in 60 seconds, but yet he's getting this opportunity. Cesaro lost a fatal 5-way elimination match. He was the first one eliminated in 4 minutes just a month ago by Braun Strowman, and then he lost to Aleister Black 2 times in the span of 48 hours, but yet he's getting this opportunity. Sami Zayn has only won 2 matches since he's been back. One was against Braun Strowman before Money in the Bank, thanks to an assistance from Corbin and McIntyre, and then the other one was a tag team match alongside Kevin Owens, defeating the New Day at Stomping Grounds. Other than that, he has been absolutely worthless. He hasn't won a goddamn thing outside of those 2 matches, but yet he's getting this opportunity. Andrade was beaten by Apollo Crews 2 weeks ago in 2 minutes, but yet he's getting this opportunity. Ricochet was beaten by Styles for the title at Extreme Rules, but yet he's getting this opportunity. None of the participants make sense. That's number 1. Number 2 is the fact that Sami Zayn was eliminated within 15 to 25 seconds. 15 to 25 seconds. I don't know what Sami did to piss off someone backstage. I don't know why they are doing this to Sami Zayn, but Sami Zayn's treatment throughout his entire WWE run, and I'm even including NXT. The guy was shafted. He had one of the shortest NXT championship title reigns in history. I do not know what is wrong with Sami Zayn in the eyes of Vince McMahon, but Sami Zayn does not deserve this treatment. He doesn't. I'll say it again. Again, I state, Sami Zayn, Cody Rhodes has a nice, cozy spot for you down in Jacksonville, Florida. The offer is on the table. And then my third complaint is the fact that 8 months ago, WWE said that there's going to be no more rematches, but yet they always end up booking the former champion in a number one contenders match, which he or she ends up winning to set up a rematch eventually at a later date. So what was the point of nixing the automatic rematch clause? You might as well have just kept the rematch clause instead of going through all this other bullshit just to get a rematch eventually down the line at the next pay-per-view. Ricochet and Andrade had a nice back and forth, and I will say that I would actually love to see a full-blown match between Andrade and Ricochet down the line. I really would. And if they get drafted to the same brand, who knows? We could end up seeing that. Moment of bliss. Moment of piss. Moment of wish. I didn't have to watch this horrendous segment and show with Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They actually showed footage of Becky Lynch attacking Natalya. And you know something? I actually like that little touch. A little dose of reality there. And realistically speaking, I said this last week, Becky Lynch and Natalya is realistically shaping up to be the best built storyline going into SummerSlam. I have no problem with it. Obviously, this led to Becky Lynch facing off against Alexa Bliss, and I knew she wasn't injured. Alexa Bliss took a Bexploder and faked an injury, and she was sitting on the outside with her leg up on a chair as Nikki Cross took Alexa Bliss's place, and Becky competed in back-to-back matches. Alexa Bliss, this was merely an angle, so Alexa Bliss, their precious little Alexa Bliss, didn't have to take any more bumps. The match with Becky was horrible, and the match with Nikki was just as bad. Nikki Cross tapped out to Becky Lynch in 4 minutes. It is unreal how far Nikki Cross has fallen from grace. It's unreal. She was a focal point in the women's division in NXT. Nikki Cross faced off against Shayna Baszler, and she didn't tap to Shayna Baszler, a former mixed martial artist star. She didn't tap to a mixed martial artist star, but yet she tapped to Becky Lynch in 4 minutes. How they have ruined Nikki Cross, I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. This and the fact that she's been paired with a worthless bimbo who can't wrestle like Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss attacked Becky Lynch afterwards, and then we got a segment with Natalya putting Becky in the sharpshooter, and then she challenged Becky to a submission match at SummerSlam, which I wouldn't mind. So that was that little combination right there. The OC defeated the Revival and the Usos in a triple threat tag team match for the Raw tag team titles. Look, this was a very good match. We had a lot of fast-paced, high-octane action. We had the Revival and the Usos flying through the ropes. We had DDTs on the outside. We had a big superplex taking out the field. We had Jimmy Uso, I believe, was on the receiving end of a Shouter Machine. The OC then took out the Revival, then hit the Magic Killer on Jimmy Uso, and the OC wins the Raw tag team titles. Listen, I love the OC. This was a very good tag team match. I enjoyed it. I really did. This is the type of tag team action that we need to see. I enjoyed the OC. I'm pretty sure everyone enjoyed the OC. But the fact of the matter is that the OC has only won one match since they've legitimately and officially got back together, and that was against the Lucha House Party. I believe it was last week. All of a sudden, they beat the Lucha House Party, and they deserve a Raw Tag Team title opportunity. The Usos lost a Raw Tag Team title match to the Revival at Extreme Rules. And Jimmy Uso just got arrested for a DUI, but yet they're getting this opportunity. How bad of a look is that for WWE? Meanwhile, the Viking Raiders, who defeated Enhancement Talents immediately after this match, have been undefeated for nearly 5 months, but yet they have gotten no opportunities whatsoever. Now, Jimmy Uso was the correct man pinned, regardless of whether they got the opportunity or not, which they shouldn't have, but Jimmy Uso was the correct man pinned. That was good. But at the end of the day, you gave the OC the tag team titles 2 weeks before SummerSlam, when you could have done it on a bigger stage. You could have legitimized them a little bit more. You could have built them up more, and you could have made that moment at SummerSlam feel special. But you did it on a regular episode of Raw with no build, no uniqueness, and no specialness whatsoever. The fact that Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano are facing a third time and everyone is just as excited about the third time as they were the fourth time, or the first time. Meanwhile, AJ Styles and Ricochet are facing for a fourth time and everyone is sick of the match and everyone is sick of the feud is downright criminal. There's no sense of uniqueness and no sense of specialness. It's ridiculous. They could have saved this moment for the OC on SummerSlam's card and made it that much more special with the OC walking out of SummerSlam with all the gold. I don't know what to tell you there. The Street Profits cut a promo in the back on Seth Rollins. Or with Seth Rollins, rather. They cut a promo with Seth Rollins, which was cringe as fuck. They are really ruining the mystique of the Street Profits. They really are. They're making them necessarily into a kids act, which is fucking pathetic. They're making them into a kids act instead of a charismatic clubbish act. It's ridiculous. Should have brought myself 2 bottles of water. Anyway, then we had Becky and Alexa. We went through that. Ziggler and Rollins. That ended via DQ because Brock Lesnar showed up and attacked Seth Rollins. He F5'd him into the post, F5'd him on steel chairs, and then F5'd him on a gurney in the back. I mean, have we not seen this before? Of course we have. We've seen this numerous amounts of times leading up to WrestleMania with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar. Literally, we saw it the night after the Royal Rumble when Seth Rollins suffered 5 F5s immediately after the Royal Rumble. I don't know what to tell you. And then Joe and the OC attacked Roman Reigns and the Usos backstage. And then we had a Samoan Summit with Samoa Joe fighting Roman Reigns. Then we got a big brawl with Drew McIntyre, the Usos, the OC. Cedric Alexander got in there as well. Cedric actually jumped off of the LED stage, and Roman, the Usos, and Cedric stood tall. I'm happy that Cedric is getting television time and getting the moment to shine with these main event players, but at the end of the day, it really didn't mean anything. It really didn't mean anything because Cedric is ultimately going to be made into one of them. He's going to be made into a ordinary, generic superstar, just like everybody else. No sense of uniqueness or specialness. Another shit episode of Monday Night Raw. No, it was not good. If you're going to sit there and tell me it's good, you are absolutely lying to yourself. And you have no say in anything professional wrestling related whatsoever. And my God, I am sweating again. I am fucking sweating again. I cannot wait until the winter comes so that way I can talk about wrestling and not sweat my ass off. Moving on. SmackDown was actually a decent show. It was a decent built show. They built very nicely towards SummerSlam. There was a lot more on SmackDown Live that you could have invested your time in than there was on Raw. Owens, he came out to mock Shane McMahon, who announced at the beginning of the show that he was not at SmackDown Live. And I actually loved this moment from Owens. He's fake crying, saying, well, we're going to pull through it without Shane McMahon. That's funny. Kevin Owens is a genuinely entertaining guy. Kevin Owens is fucking great on the microphone. He is entertaining as hell. He promised to beat Shane at SummerSlam before Drew McIntyre came out. He attacked Owens and said that you have a match with him right now. And what we got was actually a very good match. I think this went nearly 14 minutes. This was a very good match between KO and Drew McIntyre. They had very nice chemistry together. We had Kevin Owens and Drew McIntyre brawling on the top rope. Drew McIntyre ended up hitting a avalanche white noise. Kevin Owens kicked out. Kevin Owens hit a super kick and he went for a pop-up powerbomb. Drew McIntyre blocked the first one, but he connected with the second one and Drew McIntyre kicked out. Drew McIntyre then took out Kevin Owens with a headbutt, and he was taking apart the table outside. Kevin Owens recuperated and hit a stunner on the table. He hit a super kick and a second stunner in the ring. Kevin Owens wins a very good match to kick off SmackDown Live. I absolutely loved it. I loved it. If they keep this up with SmackDown, these types of matches, I said it last week with Nakamura and Apollo Crews, those are the matches that we need to continue to see. This week we got Drew McIntyre and Kevin Owens. Keep doing it. Keep showing us these matches. And at the end of the day, we're not going to complain. Keep showing them. Dolph Ziggler cut a great promo in the back. He was talking about how Raw Reunion was a waste of time, all these legends are has-beens. He goes one-on-one with The Miz at SummerSlam, and he's going to find out, The Miz is going to find out why Dolph Ziggler is the best damn thing going today. Let me tell you something. Dolph Ziggler is so good on the microphone. Dolph Ziggler brings a level of intensity that not a lot of people have, and I am very, very impressed with how good Dolph Ziggler is on the microphone. I really am. Dolph is great. Dolph knows how to get you invested in a storyline. But at the end of the day, it's a damn shame that Dolph Ziggler has been made into nothing more than a glorified jobber by WWE. It's a damn shame. Great promo, though, but it's a damn shame. Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeated Ember Moon and Bayley. Let me tell you something. I don't give a fuck what excuse you want to come up with. I don't give a fuck whether you're saying, oh, it's to build tension between Bayley and Ember. Oh, it's to build a legitimate tag team division because Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross could be a legitimate tag team and fight for the women's tag team titles. No. No. Under no circumstances should a champion and a challenger be losing any matches going into a high-profile matchup at your second biggest pay-per-view of the year. Your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, and you have Ember Moon taking a pinfall by Alexa Bliss. You made Ember Moon look like a beast last week by beating Charlotte in less than 60 seconds and eclipsing both Charlotte and Bayley. Then you make her look like a bitch this week by losing to Alexa Bliss. Oh, and don't give me the excuse that Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss are going to be put in a tag team title match. They're worthless. The team is worthless. The team is fucking horrible. It is a makeshift tag team made by WWE, and Nikki Cross has basically become Alexa Bliss's bitch. Those women's tag team titles belong on the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane. They need to win the titles from the Iconics at SummerSlam. Or better yet, get rid of the fucking titles. Get rid of the titles. You don't need to build any more tension between Bayley and Ember. And if you wanted to, you could have done that without one of them taking a loss. You did it last week when Bayley was tossed into the ring by Ember Moon, and Ember Moon ended up eclipsing Bayley after the match. You built tension that way. Ember Moon didn't have to take a loss. I don't get it. You do not have a champion and a challenger losing a high-profile match or losing any match whatsoever going into a profile match at the second biggest pay-per-view of the year and the biggest pay-per-view of the summer. You do not have them taking any losses whatsoever. None. Whatsoever. I don't give a fuck what type of excuse you want to give me. They should not be losing. And then afterwards, Bayley hit a Bayley to belly to Ember. God forbid they allow Alexa Bliss into that match at SummerSlam. If they do, I'm done. I'm fucking done, dude. I'm done. Sami Zayn was in the back. And there was actually a promo with Aleister Black doing the same thing that he did before Cesaro challenged him. Sami Zayn called out Aleister Black and said he is overhyped, he is nothing but all talk, and he is going to end the myth that is the overhyped Aleister Black at SummerSlam. Now that I can get behind. Sami Zayn and Aleister Black sounds like a world title match to me. Put it on SummerSlam as an undercard match. That would definitely enhance the show. And it gets Aleister Black another big win. The King's Court with Trish Stratus. This was actually a very good segment. We had Jerry the King Lawler talking about Trish and her training. And Jerry Lawler asks, could we possibly see that one more match for Trish Stratus? Before Charlotte came out, and Charlotte just acting like the entitled bitch that she is. It's great. Absolutely great. Just coming out saying, oh, you have a mom, and you have a mom. Just being her normal entitled self. That's what I like to see. Just getting in the face of Trish Stratus in front of your friends and family. I challenge you. Trish Stratus then says, you're just acting like a bitch. To be the woman, you gotta beat the woman. You want your match at SummerSlam? You got it. This is a very underrated dream match that a lot of people really haven't thought of. But at the end of it, I can definitely get behind this match. Even if it is a spit in the face to Sasha Banks, because Sasha always wanted the match with Trish Stratus. But regardless, this is definitely going to enhance the show. It keeps Charlotte out of the title scene. And we get a match between Bayley and Ember Moon. And we get a dream match that a lot of people really have never thought about. Charlotte and Trish Stratus. And Charlotte can win, because Trish Stratus doesn't have to win in her hometown. KO is more than likely going to win. Becky and Natalya, you could swing either way. And Charlotte's going to beat Trish Stratus. It will be great heel heat for Charlotte. Firefly Funhouse. Rambling Rabbit was cutting a promo. They had Rambling Rabbit saying that he was Finn Balor's biggest fan, but the Demon is something else, man. The Demon's coming for you. And then Bray Wyatt came in. He was doing his creepy laugh. He was in his Mr. Rogers suit. And Bray Wyatt just says, let me in, before it cuts and it screeches and it shows the Fiend, and then it goes to black. Dolph Ziggler versus Finn Balor. This was really nothing more than a 6-minute build-up to have the Fiend come out, distract Finn Balor, allowing Dolph Ziggler today's super kick, and Dolph Ziggler defeats Finn Balor thanks to the Fiend's help. Ali versus Nakamura. This was a rematch from Smackville. Listen, this was a good sprint of a match. Nakamura continuously tried to hit the Kinshasa at every which way. We had Nakamura get caught with the super kick. He went for the 450. He went for the Kinshasa again. Ali rolled him up into a modified bridge for the pinfall. Again, this is just another case of the champion being beat by a challenger to set up a match at a later date for the championship. Here's what I don't understand. Instead of doing this and making Nakamura look weak, why didn't you just have Ali face off against Apollo Crews? You could have nixed the Finn Balor-Dolph Ziggler match, because that was nothing more than a 6-minute build-up to have the Fiend attack Finn Balor. You could have nixed that matchup. You could have given Ali and Apollo Crews 11 to 12 minutes before the Kofi Kingston AJ Styles match, and you could have had Ali defeat Apollo Crews in a number 1 contenders match to earn a shot at Nakamura at a later date. What was so hard about that? I literally came up with that in 15 seconds. 15 seconds. And it was a much better idea than having Ali pin Shinsuke Nakamura and having Nakamura look weak going into SummerSlam. I don't give a shit. I genuinely don't give a shit. I don't. And if you haven't realized it, I don't give a shit. Champions should not be losing every single week in non-title matches. I swear. This is the 11th year that I've been watching wrestling and the WWE, and this is the year that I've seen the most champions lose in non-title matches on television. When a champion loses, it should feel special. When a champion is pinned, it should feel unique. I'll give you an example. Velveteen Dream. Velveteen Dream is the North American champion. He had not been pinned in 6 months. He hadn't been pinned all year. He won at Halftime Heat during the Super Bowl. He won the Worlds Collide tournament back in February. He won the North American title from Johnny Gargano. He had a successful title defense against Matt Riddle, Buddy Murphy, and Tyler Breeze. He was not pinned in 6 months. Roderick Strong pinned him in a 6-man tag team match on a episode of NXT in June. That was the first time that he had lost in 6 months. You know why I was okay with that? Because Velveteen Dream had been built up to be a beast. Velveteen Dream had been built up to be something special. Velveteen Dream had been booked to look strong. Having Roderick Strong beat Velveteen Dream in a 6-man tag team match after Velveteen Dream had lost in 6 months, it felt special. It felt meaningful. It felt legitimate. Meanwhile, on the main roster, people are beating champions left and right as if they're handing out candy on Halloween. They're handing out victories over champions as if it's candy on Halloween. It's ridiculous. Build up your champions to be special. Build up your champions to have a sense of legitimacy. Build up your champions to be those people that everyone is going to want to look for and everyone is going to want to beat. But you can't do that if the champions don't have momentum behind them. Just being a champion means nothing if you're going to take a pinfall in a non-title match every other week. I don't give a shit. Champions should not be losing every single week. If you want to have a champion lose on television, it needs to be a rarity. It needs to be a rarity. Buddy Murphy, you take a look at Buddy Murphy. Look at Buddy Murphy in his Cruiserweight Championship reign. Buddy Murphy only lost 1 match as Cruiserweight Champion. Buddy Murphy only lost 1 match as Cruiserweight Champion, and that was a tag team match when Buddy Murphy was pinned by Cedric Alexander in November. Outside of that 1 match, for the rest of his reign, Buddy Murphy was untouchable. He was undefeated. Untouchable and undefeated. Buddy Murphy was special. Buddy Murphy had a sense of legitimacy. Why can't we get that with all the champions? I do not give a shit. Champions should not be losing every single week just to set up a title match at a later date. Same thing with the challenger. I don't give a shit if it was to build tension between Ember Moon and Bayley. You could have done that without having them take a loss. Sit down, shut the fuck up, and let the master do his work. Randy Orton in the back. He had a promo talking about how he accomplished all these things and Kofi Kingston faked the Jamaican accent, how he drove his boot so far into Ali's eye socket that Ali couldn't wrestle, and Kofi took Ali's place. Kofi got all of this support, and Kofi Mania became a thing, but yet he doesn't even get a thank you. I like how he was saying stupid, stupid, stupid. Randy Orton just playing that dick heel. The dick heel that is Randy Orton. Great shit. I love it. Randy Orton and Kofi Kingston at SummerSlam. Definitely going to be a match that you should look out for. Kofi Kingston versus AJ Styles. This was actually a good match by the end of it. I'm not going to lie. I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, but it was definitely a good match for what it was. And Kofi Kingston ended up getting a win over AJ Styles. Kofi Kingston is looking mighty strong going into his matchup against Randy Orton at SummerSlam. We had Kofi Kingston and AJ Styles going back and forth. He went for Trouble in Paradise. Styles countered, went for the Ushi-Goroshi. He didn't get it. We had the OC and the New Day brawling on the outside. The New Day and the OC were brawling on the outside. We had AJ Styles get hoisted up by Kofi Kingston, and AJ Styles was dropped on the apron. He was going for the phenomenal forearm. Kofi Kingston caught him with Trouble in Paradise in midair, which looked fantastic. Kofi Kingston gets the win over AJ Styles, and Kofi Kingston gains momentum going into his match with Randy Orton at SummerSlam. I didn't mind AJ Styles taking a pinfall here, mainly because he hadn't taken a pinfall all reign as U.S. champion, and realistically, Kofi Kingston had to look legitimate going into his matchup against Randy Orton at SummerSlam. AJ Styles is already legitimate. You can look at AJ Styles and you automatically see legitimacy. That is one of the exceptions. There is always an exception, and there's always an instance where I'm okay with champions losing. In this instance, I was okay with it. Same thing with the Velveteen Dream incident. I'm okay with it. You need to build up a sense of legitimacy, though. That doesn't mean that champions should be losing every single week. The main segment was, I want to say it was good, but the camera angle was fucking terrible. The angles of the camera that they shot this segment as was terrible. But what WWE did was leave you questioning, and it got you talking about who attacked Roman. Roman was almost crushed by a scaffold and all of this production material. All these production crates just fell on top of him. He then walked away. He walked away, and that was how SmackDown Live ended. Now, there's two people that I have in mind that might have attacked Roman. One is the person that everyone has been talking about that was clearly seen walking in the background, and that's Buddy Murphy. Now, to a certain extent, this would be a good move for Buddy Murphy, mainly because of the fact that Buddy Murphy, being a breakout star, going into a feud with Roman Reigns and a match with Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, it would really do him wonders. It would really gain him some notoriety, and it would really boost his fan base. But at the end of the day, there's a very slim chance of him walking out of SummerSlam with the victory. There's a very slim chance. More likely than not, Roman Reigns will end up beating Buddy Murphy. Because Vince McMahon has his hand so far up Roman's ass that every time Roman Reigns brushes his teeth, Vince McMahon gets a manicure. So there's that. The other person that I think it might be is Daniel Bryan. There was a report that Daniel Bryan is supposedly being booked to get back into the main event scene. And what better way to get back into the main event scene than facing off against Roman Reigns? And Daniel Bryan actually has a better chance of beating Roman Reigns than Buddy Murphy does if the report about Bryan moving back into the main event scene is true. And even if Roman Reigns wins, Daniel Bryan's already an established guy, so it wouldn't really leave that much of a sour taste in everyone's mouth if Daniel Bryan is to lose to Roman Reigns, since Daniel Bryan has already done it all in the WWE. And Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan, they were going to make their career-altering announcement. Daniel Bryan was going to make his career-altering announcement, and he was showcased in an area that was conveniently and eerily similar to the area in which Roman Reigns was walking down towards his interview with Kayla Braxton when all of that shit fell on top of him. That area was eerily similar to the area that Bryan was being interviewed in. Bryan and Rowan could have sabotaged it. Those are my two main suspects, Daniel Bryan and Buddy Murphy. Either one would be good. I would pick Daniel Bryan, considering that's the most logical one, considering that he was in an eerily similar area in which Roman Reigns was walking down, and on top of the fact that there's a report that he's most likely going to get put back in the main event scene. I don't think it's going to be Buddy Murphy. It could, but at the end of the day, Buddy Murphy needs to win. You can't have Roman Reigns go into SummerSlam and win. You can't. Regardless, it was a decent way to end SmackDown Live. The angle was terrible, but WWE left you questioning who it might have been. I can appreciate that. Decent episode. We're going to see if they can continue the streak going into SummerSlam, and hopefully we get a draft after SummerSlam. And we get exclusive rosters for Raw and SmackDown. 205 Live. It was actually a good show. There was 3 matches on the show. If you wanted to go back and watch 205 Live, I would recommend watching the last 2 matches. The first match wasn't really anything special. It was a standard tag team match between Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick taking on the Singh brothers. The Brian Kendrick was distracted by the ref. The Singh brothers took the Bollywood Award. Sunil Singh ended up hitting Samir Singh with the Bollywood Award. The Brian Kendrick hit Sliced Bread, number 2, and then made the tag to Akira Tozawa, and Akira Tozawa hit the Diving Senton. Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick defeat the Singh brothers. Humberto Carrillo was interviewed in the back saying that he wanted Drew Gulak and the Cruiserweight title, and I'm actually thinking that he could very well end up getting that match. He very well could. Lindsay Dorado versus Arya Davari. This was very surprising. This was surprisingly good. I didn't think that they were going to give him that much time, but if you wanted to go back and watch this match, definitely go back and watch this match. Dorado was taking the fight to Davari here in the early going, moonsaults off the apron, springboard cross bodies. We had Arya Davari catch Lindsay Dorado with a super kick right to the lower jaw in midair. We had Lindsay Dorado and Arya Davari go back and forth. We had Davari locking in the billion dollar dream. Lindsay Dorado, I believe he was able to get a tilt-a-whirl into a roll-up with a bridge on Arya Davari, and Lindsay Dorado ended up getting the win over Arya Davari. Good match if you wanted to go back and watch it. There was actually a point in the match where Arya Davari did a sliding DDT. He did a sliding DDT that spiked Lindsay Dorado right into the mat, and it looked brutal. It looked absolutely brutal. Definitely go check this match out if you want to. Drew Gulak was interviewed in the back, and he promised pain and punishment to anyone and everyone that wants to step to him. Drake Maverick versus Mike Kanellis in an unsanctioned match. And you know something? Let me tell you something. This match had fantastic fucking storytelling. If you wanted to go spend 13, 15 minutes out of your day to watch this unsanctioned match, definitely go and do it. This is an authority angle that's not cringeworthy. This is an authority angle that actually has meaning and purpose behind it. And it's downright terrifying how different 205 Live is from Raw and SmackDown. Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis. It's like a tale of two cities. Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis. They are portrayed as legitimate, serious stars on 205 Live with a purpose. But yet on Monday Night Raw, they're portrayed as morons and circus clowns running around chasing the 24/7 title. It's scary. It's like an alternate universe. It's like two different dimensions. You take a look at this match, and you would have never even expected Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis to be running around like circus clowns chasing the 24/7 championship. And don't underestimate Mike Kanellis, ladies and gentlemen. Do not underestimate him. Mike Kanellis is a great heel. He plays that dick heel, that bully that you just want to see get his ass kicked. So much so, that when Drake Maverick started beating up Mike Kanellis, it elicited a pop from the audience. Mike Kanellis and his great heel work got Drake Maverick over. And don't you dare fucking tell me that it was because of the 24/7 title that Drake Maverick was over. The 24/7 title has helped no one. The only person that has benefited from the 24/7 title, and it's not even because of the 24/7 title, it's because of how good and genuinely funny he really is R-Truth. R-Truth is the only person that has benefited from it, and it's not even him benefiting from it. It's R-Truth just being R-Truth. It's R-Truth just being funny. It's R-Truth just being the entertaining guy that he is. Drake Maverick and R-Truth wrestled to crickets on Monday Night Raw. This match got a bigger reaction than the 24/7 championship mosh pit mixed tag team match on Monday Night Raw. What does that tell you? It tells you the 24/7 title is worthless, meaningless, and it doesn't belong. Just like the people who support the 24/7 title. You don't belong. Jesus, I'm out of fucking breath. But this was a great unsanctioned match. Mike Kanellis was beating Drake Maverick with his own belt. Drake Maverick ended up fighting back. He did a ground and pound on Mike Kanellis. He did a drop kick. He did a suicide dive that sent Mike Kanellis on the table. Drake Maverick ran the tightrope on the barricade. He went for an elbow drop on the table, and Mike Kanellis moved. Mike Kanellis threw Drake Maverick back into the ring, and he was going for something big. He was going for his twisting neckbreaker, but he decided against it, and instead, he took Drake Maverick up to the top, and he was going for a razor's edge from the top. Drake Maverick counted into a Hurricane Rana on Mike Kanellis, and then hit that running bulldog. I believe in TNA, he called it the ultimate underdog. He hit the ultimate underdog out of the corner, and Drake Maverick defeated Mike Kanellis. I knew Mike Kanellis wasn't going to win, nor should he have won. Mike Kanellis is a great heel, but you're not going to do heel versus heel at SummerSlam. You're not going to do Drew Gulak versus Mike Kanellis for the Cruiserweight Championship. Drew Gulak is a great heel. He needs an equally great babyface to work with. Unless, of course, they give him Daniel Bryan, and the rumor that Daniel Bryan is moving to 205 Live is true. Which I don't think it is. I think that Daniel Bryan is going to be facing Roman. But at the end of the day, Drew Gulak needs a great babyface to work with. And I think that babyface is going to be Humberto Carrillo. You're not going to have Oney Lorcan do it. Oney Lorcan doesn't have enough momentum behind him. You're not going to have Chad Gable do it. It's too soon for Chad Gable. Chad Gable's only been around for 2 months on 205 Live. Oney Lorcan is the correct man to take the title off of Drew Gulak. Chad Gable could very well be the next Cruiserweight champion as well, but at the end of the day, if you put either of those men against Gulak at SummerSlam, then realistically they have to walk out victorious. And Drew Gulak's going to be a transitional champion. You can't do Drew Gulak like that. You can't have Drew Gulak be a transitional champion when he's worked so hard, and this is the first ever title reign that Drew Gulak has had in 3 years. Can't do that. The best route to go here would be to have Humberto Carrillo act as the interim opponent for Drew Gulak at SummerSlam. And Humberto Carrillo loses to Gulak, then you move on to Oney Lorcan when we get to the fall months. And Oney Lorcan takes the title off of Drew Gulak in the fall months, most likely at Survivor Series. Then you could build up to Oney Lorcan versus Chad Gable at WrestleMania 36. And Chad Gable can win the Cruiserweight title then. But overall, good episode of 205 Live. Great unsanctioned match if you want to go back and watch it. And it really does show to you how 205 Live is so fucking different from Raw and SmackDown. How they portrayed Drake Maverick and Mike Kanellis as two serious characters with a purpose instead of circus clowns. Great shit. NXT UK was actually a good show. It progressed storylines going into NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. Johnny Saint and Sid Scala started the show. Imperium interrupted and saying that you are no longer in power. Now get off that mat. That is so sacred. Walter took the microphone and he asked who is left to challenge the ring general at NXT UK TakeOver in Cardiff. And as soon as he said that, almost as soon as he said that, boom. Boom. Tyler Bates' music hits. Tyler Bates' music hits. He comes out and he just beats the shit out of Walter. He's taking out Imperium. We had to get the locker room to go out and separate them both. And Sid Scala said, "You want a challenge? You got it. Walter and Tyler Bate for the WWE United Kingdom Championship." And by the way, I got to give credit to Tyler Bate. He ended up keeping his slides. He kept his slides on throughout the entire brawl. He kept his slides on throughout the entire brawl. That takes some skill. It really does. Galas defeated Pretty Deadly. It was just a standard tag team match. It was pretty much Galas showcasing their strength. Galas defeated Pretty Deadly, and then Galas ended up calling out the grizzled young veterans. I genuinely thought it was going to be Imperium to take the titles off the grizzled young veterans, but Galas is now making a strong case of why they should be challenging for the titles. I can get behind that. I'm a fan of Galas. I like the intensity that Galas brings. Next week, we got Dave Mastiff versus Joe Coffey. Interesting to see how that plays out. Rhea Ripley defeated Danny Luna. Could possibly be leading to another matchup with Piper Niven down the line. We had a backstage segment, a interview session with Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm. They were giving past history on each other, saying that they traveled the world together, they bunked together in Japan, and Kaylee Ray said, when you know someone for so long as you did, you have that slight edge over them. things have changed just a little bit, and I'm here to take that title from Toni Storm. And I love the past history. I like the dose of reality that NXT UK gave with Toni Storm and Kaylee Ray. I'm very much looking forward to this. Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm, I'm telling you right now, if they want to, Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm could be the best women's championship match of the entire month. There's 4 women's championship matches going on in the month of August. We got Bayley and Ember, Natalya and Becky, Mia and Shayna, and Kaylee Ray and Toni. Kaylee Ray and Toni, I'm going to go with it right now. I think that could be the best women's championship match out of those 4 in August. I'm telling you. Next week, we got Ginny and Jazzy Gabbert taking on Piper Niven and Zaya Brookside. Interesting. Eddie Dennis actually was showcased where he underwent pectoral surgery. And he blamed the fans. He was almost taking on a Sami Zayn-like attitude. I don't really know what they're going to do with Eddie Dennis, but I'm a fan of Eddie Dennis. I'm actually looking to see what they do with Eddie Dennis going into the rest of the year, depending on when he comes back. He very well can come back in 2020. We don't know. But in the main event, we actually got a surprisingly good match between Alexander Wolf and Jordan Devlin. And, props to both men. And you know something? It really showcased how good Jordan Devlin really is. It really does. Jordan Devlin is great at what he does. So great that he led Alexander Wolf to Alexander Wolf's best match to date. He really did. These two were beating the shit out of each other, just slapping each other, kicking each other. We had Jordan Devlin hit the Spanish Fly on Alexander Wolf. We had Jordan Devlin set up for a moonsault, but Alexander Wolf got the legs up, and then he hit a punt kick on Jordan Devlin, and then a huge sit-out powerbomb, and Alexander Wolf gets the win over Jordan Devlin. This was a very good match, heel versus heel, but you know something? They made it work. They really did make it work, and Jordan Devlin was actually the babyface in this one. The crowd was chanting for Jordan Devlin over Alexander Wolf in this one. You got to give Jordan Devlin his dues. Jordan Devlin is great at what he does, whether he's portraying a heel or a babyface. Jordan Devlin can bring anyone to a good match. He really is the MVP of NXT UK. He really is. I'm running out of water here. We still got plenty more to talk about too. NXT was actually a very good show. We had Tyler Breeze defeating Jackson Riker. This was a quick match. This only went 4 minutes. A roll-up, and the Forgotten Sons attacked. And out of nowhere, Fandango made a return. Fandango is in NXT. Fandango and Tyler Breeze are back together. Breezango is back in NXT. And you know something? Great addition to the tag team division. Breezango is going to do wonders in the tag team division. They really are. We had a decent match with Cameron Grimes and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed bringing that Australian strong style to Cameron Grimes. We had Bronson Reed hitting a power slam on Cameron Grimes. He then hit a big senton, but Cameron Grimes continued to stay alive. These two went back and forth. We had roundhouse kicks, forearms, punt kicks. Bronson Reed ran off the ropes and got caught with a huge double stomp by Cameron Grimes. And Cameron Grimes defeated Bronson Reed here in the semifinals of the NXT Breakout Tournament. Decent match. Cameron Grimes moves on to NXT TakeOver Toronto to face off against none other than Jordan Myles. And the winner gets an NXT Championship match of their choosing. Next week, we got Matt Riddle versus Killian Dane. That should be a good one. We also have Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler came out and she called out Mia Yim, saying that this is not the street. We are professional fighters. You're nothing more than street trash. Mia Yim came out and she basically challenged Shayna Baszler. She challenged Shayna Baszler saying, "Oh, you scared, Shayna? I'm going to take that title from you at NXT TakeOver Toronto." Mia said, that everyone will see that under the bright lights, Mia is nothing more than street trash. And the match was made for the Women's Championship. William Regal also made Candice LeRae versus Io Shirai at NXT TakeOver Toronto 2. So we got a total of 6 matches. That's right, 6 matches. They are really loading up the matches here at TakeOver. Next week, we actually have a contract signing between the Street Profits and the Undisputed Era for their TakeOver match. That is next week. Then in the main event, Pete Dunne defeated Roderick Strong. Pete Dunne was really working on the arm of Roderick Strong to start off this match. Roderick Strong ended up fighting back. We had Roderick Strong hit a backbreaker out of the corner and then hit a Cloud 9, that back suplex facebuster. Pete Dunne kicked out. Pete Dunne was able to roll Roderick Strong up, and he rolled him up and he hit that wishbone finger snap and the fingers bending back submission move, and Roderick Strong tapped out. Roderick Strong tapped out, and Roderick Strong loses to Pete Dunne. Good match. Velveteen Dream comes out, and he looks like he's going to hit Velveteen Dream with the North American title, Velveteen Dream comes out, and he looks like he's going to hit Pete Dunne with the North American title, and Pete Dunne catches him. And Roderick Strong distracts Velveteen Dream, saying, "It's not going to matter, that title's mine." And at the end, Pete Dunne snapped the fingers of Velveteen Dream and hit the bitter end. I wouldn't even mind if Pete Dunne wins the title, but I don't think he will. I think Roderick Strong's winning that title. Good ending to NXT, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what is going to happen at NXT TakeOver Toronto. It very well could end up outshining TakeOver New York. I'm not even going to lie to you. Now, let's get into the news, rumors, and reports. I got a lot to talk about. Now, for those of you who didn't already hear, Finn Balor was suffering from an illness, which is why Ali ended up replacing Finn Balor. According to PW Insider, he was suffering from the stomach flu. If you didn't already know, most of you already know, now you know now. But he is better. Thankfully, it passed, and he will make SummerSlam against The Fiend, Bray Wyatt. Just wanted to get that out there. Next, Fightful Select reported that Ruby Riott could potentially make her in-ring return at the 2020 Royal Rumble event. I actually hope this is true, and I actually hope that Ruby Riott actually goes forth and gets the opportunities that she so rightfully deserves. If you're asking me where should she come back, I'm assuming that I would pick Raw. I would assume it would be Raw. Ruby Riott on Raw would definitely add some depth to the division, and it would definitely help. It would definitely help the overall feel of the women's division. And then Ruby Riott, pushing a superstar like Ruby Riott would really give the show a more legitimate feel, because Ruby Riott is a legit star. So I'm actually hoping that she does come back around that time, and I'm actually hoping that she does get the opportunities that she so rightfully deserves. Anyway, Fightful also reported that Bobby Lashley has apparently been added to WWE's internal inactive list. Lashley actually did an interview back in April saying that he might be returning to MMA after SummerSlam, so while this is far from confirmed and pure speculation at this point, there is a possibility this could be why he's listed as inactive. Can I get a hallelujah? Can I get a halla-fucking-luya? Hallelujah. Lashley going back to where he belongs. He belongs in MMA. Belongs in the boring, stereotypical world of MMA. Because he doesn't fit the mold. He doesn't fit the mold of current WWE programming. He's generic, he's boring, he's nothing special, and no one's going to miss him. Realistically, no one's going to miss him. And if you're going to miss Bobby Lashley, like, I genuinely don't know what you're going to miss about a guy like Bobby Lashley. But regardless, you know, it's a great moment. Bobby Lashley finally getting put where he belongs on the inactive list. Now, if only we can get Baron Corbin, Braun Strowman, Alexa Bliss, Roman Reigns, and the Iconics there as well. We're going to see how that plays out. At this rate, if he goes back to MMA, it would really free up some roster space, and it would really hopefully put someone in a good position in which they can be elevated to the position that we all want them to be in. But thankfully, Lashley's gone. That is one improvement to the show. It's one improvement to the show I can definitely get behind. My next report comes from PW Torch and PW Insider's Tom Colohue. According to a report from PW Torch and PW Insider's Tom Colohue, WWE is now going to start slowly wrapping up the idea of the wild card rule, as very few people backstage still think it's a good idea. He states they're quietly wrapping up the wild card rule. No big announcement or anything. There's a lot of people who want it to end. Companies, sponsorships, management, and talent. You don't get another Lynch and Rousey moment without that Survivor Series format. Can I get another? Hallelujah. Thank Christ. Thank Christ. Thank Christ that this wild card rule is finally ending. First of all, we all know that it should have never even been a thing. Should have never even been a thing. The wild card rule has done a lot more bad than it's done good. The wild card rule has taken television time away from many more stars than it has given television time. Mainly the top stars, Becky or Bayley or Roman or Kofi or Zayn or Owens, McIntyre, Elias. That's pretty much it. Those are pretty much the Usos, the Revival. Those are pretty much all of the people that have taken advantage of the wild card rule. Outside of those people and those people alone, who else has used the wild card rule? No one. No one at all. And Andrade. You can use Andrade in there as well. You can use Andrade and Styles in there as well. Outside of that, nobody. Nobody has used it. It has taken television time away from guys like Apollo, guys like Asuka and Kairi Sane, guys like frickin' Ali and Cedric and Murphy. Plenty more. Heavy Machinery you can even throw in there. You could throw in guys like Aleister Black. He was in catering for the first 2 months of his main roster run after he got drafted to SmackDown in the Superstar Shakeup. Cesaro. Plenty more. Plenty more. This wild card rule was merely done as a desperate ratings attempt. And we all knew this. It was merely done as a desperate ratings attempt that pretty much became ordinary and died a miserable death after the first 2 weeks. The wildcard rule actually resulted in some of the lowest rated episodes of Raw and SmackDown. It actually resulted in Monday Night Raw and SmackDown actually having ratings below 2 million. Below 2 million. That was merely 2 months ago. And right now, it's having a consistent flow of 2.2 million. 2.2 million, which is not much better. Outside of Raw Reunion, because you can't count Raw Reunion. You can't count Raw Reunion because of the simple fact that Raw Reunion was pretty much done as a desperate ratings attempt that ended up working. Because they brought back all of these legends. And because of Stone Cold. But thank God that this wildcard rule is finally ending. Thank God there's many people backstage that want it to end. And this Survivor Series format that they've been doing, that definitely helps the product. It really does. The Survivor Series format really does help the product because it gives you a sense of originality. It gives the pay-per-views a sense of importance. And you can have the champions versus the champions. You can have a U.S. champ versus Intercontinental champ, a Raw Women's champ versus SmackDown Women's champ, WWE and Universal champ. The Survivor Series format would really work, and in order to in order to do the Survivor Series format, they really need to start with exclusive rosters. And I genuinely hope that the ramblings are true, that we are going to get a draft after SummerSlam. I genuinely hope we are going to get a draft after SummerSlam. So that gives me hope that we are going to slowly start seeing progression on the main roster. NXT, we already know, is only going to get better. Same with 205 Live and NXT UK. Raw and SmackDown, we really need to keep our eyes on, especially when it comes to after SummerSlam, when we see that draft start to take place and we get exclusive rosters. I still don't believe that Paul Heyman and Eric Bischoff are running the show. I still don't believe it. I get a report from Brad Shepard. Now, Brad Shepard reported on Oh You Didn't Know that his source in WWE told him that Vince McMahon doesn't personally like Ember Moon. He states, and I quote, "According to a source in WWE, it's pretty clear that Vince McMahon doesn't personally like Ember Moon. I'd love to elaborate, but I'm not able to. But it's pretty clear." Now, could he be bullshitting? Most likely, because that's what Brad Shepard does. He bullshits a lot. Brad Shepard bullshits a lot. I don't trust Brad Shepard whatsoever. Brad Shepard is one of the many, many people in the wrestling community that don't deserve access to social media. I do not trust Brad Shepard whatsoever. However, I always try and make connections with the report and what's going on television. You take a look at Ember Moon. You take a look at her run in NXT. That run in NXT that Ember Moon had was fantastic. She had a fantastic run in NXT. She had Match of the Year candidates with Asuka, won the NXT Women's Championship. She had a great feud with Shayna Baszler. She comes up to the main roster after WrestleMania. And pretty much after 3 months, she is rendered unimportant. After Money in the Bank in 2018, after that 2-month, 3-month period, she is rendered unimportant. And she's pretty much forgotten about. Meanwhile, Ronda Rousey and Alexa Bliss are given a Raw Women's Championship match that lasted 4 minutes at SummerSlam. They're given a match that lasted 12 minutes at Hell in a Cell, which was one of the worst women's matches of the entire year. Nikki Bella's placed in a match against Ronda Rousey at Evolution, in which was the worst match in the women's division that year. It was in the top 3 worst matches of the year. Don't try me. Ember Moon was placed in a meaningless battle royal, which was won by Nia Jax. Ember Moon then got injured at the Royal Rumble. She got injured at the Royal Rumble, and she came back at WrestleMania. Was eliminated in the Women's Battle Royal at WrestleMania within 4 minutes. She was drafted to SmackDown, and she was left in the catering for the first 2 months. She loses to Sonya Deville, gets a victory in 90 seconds to Mandy Rose, and then, conveniently, she is in a tag team match with Bayley. Bayley and Ember win. And Bayley selects Ember Moon to be her opponent at SummerSlam this year. Based on the fact that Ember Moon was on the main roster for 17 months, and now she's just getting her first shot at a women's championship, that in itself is fucking criminal. That in itself is disgusting. Ember Moon should have been the one to win Money in the Bank last year, not Alexa Bliss. Should have been Ember Moon. Ember Moon should have cashed in the Money in the Bank contract on Nia Jax at Extreme Rules that year. Ember Moon should have held the title from Extreme Rules all the way to Evolution, in which we could have gotten Ember and Rousey at at Evolution, and Rousey could have won the title there. Rousey did not need to win the title within the summer months. She didn't. Ronda Rousey would have gotten headlines, and Ronda Rousey would have gotten all of this mainstream attention, no matter when she would have won the Raw Women's title, whether it had been on a house show, a pay-per-view, a Raw, a SmackDown, anywhere that Ronda Rousey would have won the Raw Women's title, she would have gotten mainstream headlines on all of these websites. Didn't matter when. WWE did that because they felt like they had to, which they didn't. Pretty much shafting Ember Moon. So that, combined with the fact that Ember Moon, more likely than not, is not going to win the championship. Ember Moon's not going to win the championship. Which is a fucking shame in itself. It really is a fucking shame in itself because Ember Moon is one of the best, if not the best, female athlete on the main roster. And Ember Moon is not going to win the championship at SummerSlam. Charlotte's most likely going to beat Trish Stratus, and Ember Moon's going to be shafted again, so Charlotte could take the title off of Bayley at Clash of Champions when we get to September 15th. I genuinely don't know what you want me to tell you. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I really don't. I don't trust Brad Shepard whatsoever, but based on those two connections and those two connections alone, the fact that Ember Moon hadn't gotten a championship match in 17 months. This is her first one, and most likely she's going to lose. She's going to get shafted. She's going to get put in catering again, and Charlotte's going to win the title from Bayley at the next pay-per-view. I don't think it's that far off. I don't think it's that far-fetched to think that Vince McMahon doesn't personally like Ember Moon. Because what does Vince McMahon do? Vince McMahon pushes his favorites. Vince McMahon caters to the people that he likes. Vince McMahon caters to people like Roman and Charlotte and the New Day. Those people. Many, many more. Many, many more too. If he really liked Ember Moon, then Ember Moon would have been a champion already. Ember Moon would have realistically been a champion already. And she's not. And more likely than not, she is not winning the title at SummerSlam. I don't trust Brad Shepard, but is he that far off based on everything that's been going on with Ember Moon? I don't think so. This is a report that's kind of confusing because the Wrestling Observer newsletter originally reported not that long ago that The Miz and Dolph Ziggler was not happening. And then they report that it wasn't one of the planned SummerSlam matches, and the Twitter announcement was a red herring. The fan speculation has suggested that Goldberg or Michaels could have been his opponent, but it is being reported, and it was reported by the Wrestling Observer newsletter not that long ago, that neither are the planned opponent for Ziggler. But then I hear yesterday that Goldberg is speculated to be the opponent for Ziggler at SummerSlam. I genuinely don't know what to believe as it relates to The Miz and Ziggler and this whole Dolph Ziggler storyline, that we could get a Goldberg match at SummerSlam, or we could possibly see a Shawn Michaels match at SummerSlam, or we're not going to get a Miz match, or we are going to get a Miz match. It's very, very confusing. I genuinely don't know what to believe as it relates to this story. I genuinely don't know what to believe as it relates to the story, but I will keep you guys updated, and I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to read carefully and watch what's going on television. Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Realistically, we're going to have to wait and see. I don't know what's going to go on, and for all we know, we could end up getting Goldberg and Ziggler at WrestleMania, or not at WrestleMania, at SummerSlam. I'm going to have to wait and see what happens. Either way, I don't understand why Ziggler's getting a SummerSlam match to begin with. That's pretty much taking up a spot. SummerSlam doesn't need to have 17 matches like WrestleMania. If you take away Ziggler and The Miz, it would actually free up a space for something more important, like a Cruiserweight title match, or an IC title match, or a tag team title match. You know? But anyway. You are going to want to listen to this report. This report had to be the most ridiculous report I think I've ever read. You're going to find out why Vince flipped over a table backstage. Hollywood star and former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. recently spoke with Ariel Helwani on the MMA show and shared some interesting stories about his time working behind the scenes in the WWE. Now, for those of you who do not know Freddie Prinze Jr., he parted ways with the WWE around 2009. He was a creative writer backstage who taught promo classes. Now, according to Prince, he actually took over a promo class from Vince McMahon because Vince McMahon flipped out at Sheamus and Cesaro during a session. He states, and I quote, "To give you an example of Vince's promo classes, he had Wade Barrett and Sheamus stand up in front of every wrestler and producer, and he looks at both of them and goes, 'You're a dog. You're a dog. Now make me want to watch you fight.' The room is dead quiet. It's so quiet that after a full minute, Sheamus said, 'I think I'm having an out-of-body experience.' Doesn't know he said it. The whole room goes crazy. Vince yells, 'You're a dog.' Both get quiet again. Wade Barrett is the courageous one. He thought he was supposed to be a dog, so he barked. Vince jumps up, flips a table, and goes, 'Ah, damn it,' and storms out. I go up to Vince after and say, 'Maybe I can take over the promo class because I think I can speak the language you're speaking,' and then translate it to them, and he handed me the promo class." End quote. Yes, Vince McMahon told Wade Barrett and Sheamus to bark like dogs. Yes, this is a legitimate report. No, I am not kidding. We all knew that Vince McMahon was out of his fucking mind. We already knew this. If you needed any more reassurance that Vince McMahon is out of his fucking mind, just read this report. This is the CEO. This is the CEO of a billion-dollar company. A company that has made millions upon billions of dollars throughout their entire tenure in the sports entertainment industry. Or the professional wrestling industry, whatever the fuck you want. I don't even recognize WWE as professional wrestling anymore. This is the CEO of a billion-dollar company telling two of his employees, two 30-year-old men, again I repeat, two 30-year-old men, to stand up in front of a room full of their peers and their coworkers and bark like dogs. Bark like dogs as if they are Trish Stratus and Vince McMahon is telling Trish Stratus to strip away on television during the Attitude Era. Do I even need to say anything else? The fact that Vince McMahon is conducting a promo class and the first thing that he says is for Sheamus and Cesaro to bark like dogs and make him want to watch you guys fight by barking like dogs. And then Wade Barrett ends up barking like a dog. Wade Barrett ends up doing what Vince asked of him, and then Vince flips over a table and storms out anyway. The guy is fucking insane. The guy is if this is the guy that you are supporting, if this is the guy that you are supporting in running this company and making this company a success, you are out of your fucking mind. You are just as out of your mind as he is. This is the type of shit that these people are supporting. This is the type of shit that people who willingly defend Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live are supporting. Now you know why we get mad when people support Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live in the way that they do. This is the man that Seth Rollins is supporting. This is the man that AJ Styles publicly came out and defended Seth Rollins with. Now you know why people like me get mad at people who defend Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. This is essentially what they're supporting. The CEO of a billion-dollar company telling two grown men, two of his own employees, to pretty much embarrass themselves in front of their peers and their co-workers in a promo class. That's how you conduct a promo class? That's how you conduct a promo class. Telling two men to stand up there and bark like animals. I don't know what else. I don't know what else I can say. I genuinely don't know what else I can say. All I can say is what I've been saying for God knows how long now. Vince McMahon, he's got to go. Vince McMahon has got to go, and anyone that supports Vince McMahon in this area, if you're telling me that you support Vince McMahon after hearing this type of story, you are out of your goddamn mind. You're out of your goddamn mind. This is the type of shit that you're supporting. You're telling me that you're okay with Vince McMahon telling Sheamus and Wade Barrett to go up and bark like dogs in a promo class. This is what you're supporting whenever you say that Monday Night Raw was a good show or Monday Night Raw is good. You are pretty much telling yourself, you're pretty much telling everyone that you are accepting trash. You're accepting shit. You're eating shit for breakfast, lunch, and dinner when you say that you support Monday Night Raw. I genuinely don't understand. I'm not comprehending it. I am not comprehending how anyone can defend this man. I'm genuinely not comprehending it at all. You can't defend this. You cannot defend behavior like this. If you needed any more reassurance that Vince McMahon needs to go ASAP and he needs to be removed from his position as CEO, this is it. This is it. Fucking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Telling two grown men to go up there and embarrass themselves by barking like animals, and then when one actually does it, he flips over a table, screams damn it, and storms out of the room anyway. I don't know what else I can say. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I think I need to get out of here. That wraps up this edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every single one of you who tuned into this video. Follow me on Instagram at TheDJStorms. Follow me on Twitter at Man of Infamy. Go and hit that subscribe button. We are over 1,300 subscribers, ladies and gentlemen. We are over 1,300 subscribers, and we're going to continue to grind our way all the way to 2K. I also want you guys to leave a like. We're going to try and get this video to 15 likes. Also, leave a comment down below. What are your thoughts on Vince McMahon having Sheamus and Cesaro bark like dogs? Also, I want you to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube, because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it's the best time to be on YouTube. I will have the rundown for NXT TakeOver Toronto 2 up next week, as well as the rundown for SummerSlam as well. From the 17th to the 24th. The 17th to the 24th, I will be on vacation, so there will be no Lightning Flash update. I'm only going to be watching the shows. There's going to be no Lightning Flash update, and I will be back the week after that. The week of NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff and All Out. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash update. I hope you guys have a great weekend, and hopefully you won't have to come in contact with a CEO that's going to make you bark like dogs. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a great weekend.